Voice of sharing, 居然那想。
ASEAN Dailies, first and foremost news from Southeast Asia. Welcome to Triana ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing. You're with Grace on the ASEAN Dailies. We deliver news from Southeast Asia. Now let's do focus on the updates from all the way from the Thailand, where just the other day there was the bomb blast happened on the Monday, and apparently the authorities are now focusing on the suspects that was seen in the CCTV footages at the blast site. So now the authorities said, which was just a few days ago, and they were looking for a suspect seen on the closest circuit television footage near a popular shrine where a bomb blast killed about 22 people, and nearly half of them were foreigners. And the Major General Warachond Sukhon Hapatikpak said that there were similarities between the Monday's deadly blast and the smaller one as well, and also as well as Tuesday's explosion. But it also added that authorities had not established links between these two. And apparently both were TNT bombs. TNT bomb is one of the kinds, and then there is a patent, but they have not found the links yet. So the man was caught in the CCTV, who just quietly left his bag in the shrine, was seen in the grainy CCTV footages. So like we mentioned yesterday, even he just sat down against the railing, and then he just slipped out of this bag straps. So wearing the yellow shirt and with the sort of shaggy dark hair, this young man then stood up and walked out of this blue plastic bag, and what appears to be, it was just a mobile phone. So bag was, of course, it was left by him at the shrine, and that person is one of the suspects so far who was caught in the CCTV. And then according to sort of analysis, it could also be part of the network, meaning that those people must have had a sort of the plans, of course. According to the police, have released the sketch of the main suspect. And then, like we mentioned, just a short description. And Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, he described this incident as worst ever attack on Thailand. And it was the Hindu shrine. And of course, a lot of tourists were visiting this popular site, and also Buddhists as well. And it looked like it is the work of more than one person, because on Tuesday the similar incident happened, and then they sort of ensured that he didn't do it alone for sure, referring to the main suspect. It is a network, without giving further information from the police side yet. But then they were pretty certain that Thai citizens were involved in this bombing. So more updates will be coming up. But just to add that this Bangkok blast threatened this renewed sort of pain for Thai economy apparently, and these 9 foreigners were among these killed in the attack, and the motive for this, which remains a sort of mystery. And the Japanese customers have all checked out in the morning, and also bookings also have been cancelled. This is according to the Utip Panjai. He's the general manager at All the Best Travel in Bangkok. And also hotelier Erawan Group, which operates the Grand Hyatt Erawan Hotel. They also said the company was assessing the impact from the blast. So it looked like it's not only affecting the whole the public and also the politic, but also it also affects the economic side of the Thailand as well. So we'll give you more updates from Durian ASEAN later on, but stay tuned. We have a short break, and after that we'll talk about the political side of Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hey, good morning. This is Arlene.
Welcome back. This is Grace.
And of course, we are bringing you news from Southeast Asia on our ASEAN Daily. So, from Thailand, we move on to Indonesia. Indonesia also is being hurt by its plane crash recently. So apparently, according to investigators, that Indonesia airline safety hurt by inadequate staff.
And according to them also, the nation has struggled to hire and train staff quickly enough to oversee this problem and its fast-growing aviation market, which the International Air Transport Association expects to triple in size by 2034. But in order to reach all this standard and as well as sort of good system in the aviation, of course, the efficient staff there is very important. And then adding to this, of course, the safety was hurt by the staff there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's another issue.
Yeah, so until they resolve this particular area, they cannot do the same level of supervision and certification as a country with robust system in place. And to add further, Indonesia or the whole of Southeast Asia will be a more bustling economy compared to now, probably in a couple more years, especially with AEC and all. So we should be expecting higher level of professionalism and standards in terms of aviation.
That's very true. And also they have been very active in developing their plans. But again, the plans are plans. We have to see how the plans are carried in actions and also execution of them. And then, of course, it's good news to hear that they are making some progress in this matter.
The same issue, the same country that I'm going to highlight another problem. Well, it's not really a problem, but finally, the Law and Human Rights Minister Yasona H. Lawli said that the government continued to review a proposal to make a public apology to the families and victims of the 1965 to 1966 anti-communist purge.
And this is according to Jokowi administration, who has decided to establish the non-judicial mechanism to resolve these past human rights abuses in cases where there is an absence of the solid on-the-ground evidence on which to settle the cases legally as well. So coming up with this sort of mechanism to come up with the solutions for human rights, well, it's probably a good step to move forward. And there are also two options, either judicial or non-judicial, and also now we are leaning towards the non-judicial options here.
I'm really interested about this particular news because for so long I assumed that Indonesian government are just sweeping the purge of communists under the rug. But finally, they are actually admitting that, we might have done too much in terms of trying to curb communism to the fact that we killed so many people. And I think it's great that Indonesian government is acknowledging this for a fact because, in a way, human rights should be one of the core focus for countries in Southeast Asia. Indonesia should make this one of its key move to ensure that, just because you're against communism doesn't mean you have to kill a bunch of people.
Exactly. Yes.
And torture them. And whatever happened in the past, of course, is in the past, but we need to acknowledge that it happened. On the other hand, we move to Myanmar. Myanmar has extended emergency rule in strife-hit region. A lot of people might not realize, but they are still very much having a huge problem when it comes to conflict. Myanmar has renew a state of emergency in the restrict northern region bordering China. State media said a couple of days ago, extending armed control over the area during crucial November elections.
And then, of course, it is a very crucial month for Myanmar, and it is coming closer and closer. But it looks like we are sort of discovered, and also they have revealed quite a number of issues so far. And then to say we're talking about the state of the emergency in the restive northern region bordering China, and then Kokang remains unable to return to normalcy in the terms of administration, peace, and also tranquility of the rule of law. And the report also said the state of emergency, which began in mid-February and it also expired on Monday, it had been extended until November 17 by order from the president's office as well.
So we'll be expecting a conflict. Hopefully they will not happen, especially when the November elections is nearing. I think partly because election has never been something that a lot of the Myanmar, I would say pockets of Myanmar ethnic groups can foresee themselves being part of this. So to actually have it in a couple of months is kind of scary because anything can happen, especially a country that hasn't been really exercising democracy for quite a while. So it will be interesting for Myanmar to ensure that democracy will be put in place, especially during election. So that comes to our next news. Political forces in Myanmar realign. This is according to the news that Myanmar Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi said that her opposition party would ally with a powerful ousted ruling party leader Shoman as political forces realign in the biggest shake-up since the end of military rule.
Well, it is not clear who is the enemy and who is ally at this point. This is according to Aung San Suu Kyi. And then the National League for Democracy, or NLD, will work with this ally. Well, she did not really tell detail how they are going to work together. And in fact, the chairman of the USDP, Sui Man, sought to build these ties with the Suu Kyi, and also which sparked a suspicion among all those members of the ruling party, and they contributed to its ouster as well. And these security forces, which are also surrounded by the USDP compound, which was just last week, they sort of locked down the building while the president's ally met the party leaders to remove this 3 months faction from the leadership committee. So, well, a lot of confliction and a lot of sort of tension that we can see at this moment heading towards the election in Myanmar. And as for the happenings of the middle of this night, this is not what they can expect and what public can expect from the working democracy.
And one thing that I want to highlight about what is happening in Myanmar right now, we can definitely see that political interest is above anything else right now. That's why you see Aung San Suu Kyi teaming up with ruling party leaders. It shows that, there need to be a certain kind of change, and that change might not be that black and white. And it will be interesting to follow up with Myanmar's election in the coming months and see how this would stir up Myanmar's politics in the future. It's like, our Malaysia's Pakatan versus Barisan, but now Pakatan no longer exists, and anything can happen in a way.
Yes.
I think in politics it's all about permanent interest. So it's not about friends or foe anymore.
That's quite sad, isn't it?
It is. I don't know whether it should be considered as sad or not, but for the layman, probably they won't understand this part of politics. This area in terms of politics. Talking about human rights, using technology to counter gender-based violence in Cambodia is being used now.
Well, apparently, as the risk of the abuse and also violence against the women with societal changes in Cambodia, especially, this both technology and social media are helping those in need to stay one step ahead. And the violence against the women has long been a sort of endemic in Cambodia, and there's a burnout in the widespread oppressive attitudes and also harrowing statistics as well. So it shows how sort of gender-based violence in Cambodia is, he has been sort of maintaining its own status there for a long time.
And apparently that 1 in 4 Cambodian women reported physical and sexual violence by a partner, while 1 in 5 men admitted to having committed rape, and more than 5% of men say that they have engaged in, guess what, gang rape.
Right.
That's crazy. But in recent years, violence has shifted along with rapid change in Cambodia's capital city, moving more prominently from the private domain to the public. And when I say public, meaning the sex workers, karaoke employees, all these women are at risk of being face violence.
So, with this help of the social media, hope that all these organizations which are aimed to counter this gender violence by capitalizing on the rising use of technology and social media can really, really help. And also, the important example of the power of social media is a tool for the Cambodian public in demanding action, and also this is on injustice as well. So, what they need to see right now is the same level of outrage leveled at violence against everyday women, and this is to keep the momentum going. So hope that the penetration of the social media in Cambodia is successful, that more organization and perhaps the NGOs can help out, and also to prevent from perhaps the near violence in the future.
Anyway, we'll take one short break. When we return, we'll talk more about economic and also socio-cultural in Southeast Asia.
ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hey, good morning. This is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
So, continuing from our politics to our economy in Southeast Asia, Vietnam has devalued its dong to protect exports and have especially offsets of yuan's fall.
And then apparently, this is happened for the third time this year, and authorities sought to support this language export sector facing fresh challenges from a surprise devaluation of this Chinese yuan. And China, who is Japan's top trading partner, they rattled global financial markets when it devalued the currency by nearly 2%, which just happened recently. And then this is heightening the worries of the global currency war. And we just talked about all these currencies in Southeast Asia. It doesn't look like they are doing pretty well. But then, according to Vietnam, their currency devalues. It is to protect exports as well.
So it seems like the devaluation is reasonable, since many countries competing with Vietnam in exports have devalued their currency. And the previous midpoint rate have been in place since May 7, when the central bank allowed 1% currency depreciation. The first devaluation in 2015 was also 1% on January 7. I think the currency war that we are seeing right now is country trying their best to lower their currency value as much as possible, so they are more competitive in terms of the exports market. On the other hand, coffee prices fall as Colombia, Vietnam currencies weakens. So this is the best time for us to buy coffee, right?
Exactly. For coffee lovers, and purchase as many coffee as possible. The prices have dropped as currencies of Colombia and Vietnam, like you mentioned, two of the world's largest coffee exporters, apparently, they continue to lose their value against the dollar. And the currency weaknesses, this have been dominating many commodity market this year, and exporting countries seek to gain this competitiveness via currency devaluation in global trade as the world economy slows down. So we're talking about the coffee price here. Apparently, according to the BBC on the other day, the coffee price will increase because of climate change, because there will be less production. But however, now, because of the currency weakness, the coffee price will fall. So perhaps it happens in the Southeast Asia, maybe the parts of the Colombian countries as well. So hope that coffee lovers, they don't lose their hope and also expectation when it comes to coffee prices.
Well, I don't know, but I'm enjoying my coffee at a cheaper price now. Well, another let's move on to socio-cultural news. So, when it comes to giving birth, it's the most beautiful part of human being. It's also, I guess, the most beautiful part of being a panda.
Oh yeah, why not? And then Panda, I think a few months ago, isn't it? We talked about how the number of panda is decreasing overall, and it
My
is
theory
very,
was wrong.
Yeah,
Apparently, pandas are making babies all over the world, and we start with Malaysia.
Yeah, it is really, really great news and a positive news, and hope that those people who are taking care of the panda babies can maintain and also be able to, let them reproduce more.
Yeah, and we are talking about the giant panda Liang, which gave birth in Malaysia a couple of days ago. And of course, this is the giant panda that was given by China as part of the panda diplomacy. And it has finally given birth, and I'm so proud of the panda. I'm so happy for them.
For sure. It is very glad to hear that Liang, who is the panda at the National Zoo, has given a birth to child at the 1:45 in the afternoon. And the two countries agreed in 2012 that China would send a pair of giant panda for 10 years stay as part of the Beijing's panda diplomacy, and one of them was Malaysia. But Beijing and especially the Chinese relatives of those on board have been highly critical of Malaysia's handling of the disaster before. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, until now, they haven't really able to determine what sex or what gender the new cub is.
Perhaps maybe they're like cats. That, they have to wait for a few months.
Yeah, I think so.
Then only they can identify, whether it's a female or male.
So you're a cat person, I suppose.
I'm a animal person.
So I want to move on to another giant panda.
Sure.
So a panda in the zoo in Washington just pronounced that she is also pregnant.
Oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Well, it's really, really good news. Oh?
Why they are having sex? Panda.
Maybe it's their time of the year. Yes. And then, it is also according to the zoo there in the USA, based on the size of the fetus, veterinarians think that Mei Xiang, which is the name of the panda, could give birth early next week or possibly in early September as well. But the zoo also says there is a substantial possibility that she can miscarry or not give birth at all.
Aww.
But then they are staying quite optimistic at this point and hope that Mei Xiang can give birth more and then perhaps to increase the population of panda worldwide.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, definitely great for panda. Finally, you learn the art of making babies, more and more babies. I'm so proud of you guys, wherever you are.
Yes, I can see your happy face here right in front of my face.
Anyway, moving on to another news. Accused terrorists move to ban screening of propaganda Bollywood film. So Pakistan-based Hafiz Saeed claimed that a film about the 2008 Mumbai attack is filled with filthy propaganda against Pakistan.
Well, this could be quite interesting because this is a political thriller. It's called Phantom, and like you mentioned, it revolves around the terror attacks in India's financial capital Mumbai, and which killed about 164 people, and also including the nationals as well. So making this whole film regarding this terrorist could also educate people and perhaps bring the awareness about the terrorist. But however, I am not so sure about what will happen after the film is released. The reaction from the Middle East.
Well, the thing is, this is for the Pakistani. They think that this is a form of propaganda to somehow propagate people in India that the culprit are Pakistani, but actually the reality is not the case. But you see a lot in Hollywood film as well. For example, 300, trying to propagate the idea that the Persians were this savage kingdom. And also you have films like Black Hawk Down, where they don't even acknowledge Malaysia were part of the search and rescue mission in this during the Somali War. I think movies are important propaganda tool. But at the same time, I think we shouldn't take it literally. As in, I don't believe in banning of movies. I feel like you should treat movies as a form of fiction rather than non-fiction.
Right.
There will always be some form of myth, even though it can be, it is said that, there's some form of truth, even though if it's based on history, facts, but it's not entirely based on facts. You know that.
Well, I guess this depends on the mentality of the public as well. Like how Nazis, the Hitler, he sort of educate his own people by releasing the movies to build up this hatred against the Jews. Is also another way of a propaganda, I will say. So it's also like I mentioned, the public mentality here is very important. But we're talking about the India here. So hope that even after the movie is released, all these Indians can sort of criticize as well as to come with analysis properly towards this film.
So our last news today, which is the news about trapped in the gutter, the street cleaner with 4 degrees.
Wow.
That means he actually graduated 4 times, but he still is a street cleaner.
This is amazing, I would say. And I don't know what made him to just stay as a cleaner. This 4-degree man from the prestigious Tata Institute of the Social Sciences, he's not pursuing another degree in advanced graduate degree. But according to him, he just wants to stay as a cleaner, I will say. And a lot of people do question them. What will you get out of all this studying, in fact?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people will question him even after having the 4 degrees.
I don't know what to say, but if he's happy, that's great.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, but I think the love of education has drove him to study more and more, but is still forced to be they call it a scavenger or just a cleaner, someone who cleans animal and human waste. I don't know what to say in this, but I think India is definitely they definitely need to change their caste system. In India, they have a huge problem of social status. So if you are born in a family with a lower social status, you're forever being trapped there, even though you might be the smartest person in the world. So these are some form of, discrimination that needs to change in India.
All right.
So anyway, that's all from us today. Thanks for listening.
And look for us on our social medias, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And we've got a website, of course. Type in www.adrianasean.com.
And thanks for listening. And of course, you keep up with us on the next hour at 9 o'clock, where we bring you discussion about the Thai bombing happening recently.